you?
Damn. You just snagged her food.
It's his.
How are you? Good?
We pick it up.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. It now being 7:00 a.m. bring this March 7th, 2024 select board meeting to order. The following ground rules: civility, mutual respect will be maintained at all times. No personal attacks will be tolerated. In the event quorum has lost, the chair will immediately call a recess to resolve the matter. Individuals wishing to speak to the subject at hand will raise their hand for acknowledgement by the chair. Once recognized, the chair, the individual will state their name and address for the record, followed by their comments. No interruptions will be allowed, except by the chair. Subsequent requests by the same individual will be acknowledged once all individuals have had the opportunity to speak on the subject. We have no remote participation tonight, so is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment on anything that's not on the agenda? Yes, Mike.
Mike Wheeler, 57 Latin Center Road. As a member of the telecommunications committee,
Yes.
I was wondering if it would be possible for the board to make a request to RTT Towers to hold on their construction temporarily until the results of the RF mapping from Isotrope are done. Because it's already been established that it's going to need more than one tower to possibly give the coverage to the town. And locations and so on are still up in the air. And would it be possible for the town to request RTT to temporarily hold for a few weeks till the results of the mapping come in? And maybe possibly they could be, work on the other towers that you wanted, different locations. But we still don't know until the mapping is done exactly what the results will be. So just wondering if it would be possible for them to just hold up I know it's been a long time, long process, but a few more weeks might make all the difference. Who knows?
We do have some outstanding issues associated with the tower and the lease, the paperwork associated with that. David, you want to speak to that? You know.
Yeah, everything's in place. We are looking at there's one piece that we need to address. The utility easement got moved at the planning board meeting, and the planning board requested to move it closer to the access road so it was less intrusive. So there's a process for that to amend the lease. And then there's just a few other details, but besides that, they have their insurance in, they have their building permit, or at least it's ready. They've gotten their driveway permit. And actually they have a logger lined up, which is surprising, but they have one parked there, but there's a few, again, one more detail that we need to work out on. They're ready to go.
And that has to go before the select board on the 27th. Right?
Just amend for the utility lease.
Right.
But we've been advised they could go ahead still within the lease that they have for the access road, because that has changed from the lease.
Like, I understand why you're asking. The committee that's been formed, is this part of the money that we approved a couple of weeks? Okay, that just, I want to put it out there.
For the study, yes.
For the study. Has the study begun, and are you saying that within a few weeks, the study will be complete? Because normally these things take months.
As soon as the lawyer releases the contract, that's been several weeks now. And he gives the go ahead to Isotrope. Their schedule was within a couple of weeks. They had a map for it.
So I don't, I appreciate the request. We only have 3 members here tonight.
Yes.
This is a public meeting with a pretty short agenda.
Yeah.
And this is a big item. I think we know this is going to come to the floor at the next meeting.
Yes.
This should be addressed then.
Yes. And did the contract go to Isotrope already, David? Has that been signed?
No, town council has that.
Okay, so the
It's on its list, and
contract has not been signed.
Correct. That's why.
So,
And I think it's critical that when we authorize the formation of this group after the last town meeting, that it was done on the understanding that this would not undermine our efforts to move forward with the tower on town land that was approved at our town meeting, so that we could proceed. I think, this is dealing with a multi-year need to solve a safety issue. And we get us moving forward.
Plus, we have a signed contract with them. Okay, is that it? Okay, thank you, Mike. Anybody else from the public? Hearing none, okay. Public hearing, we have none. Meetings, police chief, Ken Miller. Potential sale of police canine.
All right, well, first off, I want to thank you guys for coming in. I know it's it was kind of last minute. Kind of time sensitive, so that's why we had to have you come in. As you know, our canine handler last fall, he went on medical leave. He was out for 3 months. So Boris was kind of been held in the kennel since going back to October. January, he was slated to come back. The handler decided he was going to take a position in another agency. At which time we tried in good faith to work with that agency to see if they would take Boris with them, as we didn't really want to break up the pairing. That fell through. So we've had Boris now sitting in a kennel for the last 3 months. So I really tried hard to keep Boris. I ended up getting another guy certified who I thought was going to step in and take Boris over. But he ended up backing out last minute. So now the timing is just really bad because the next training for the dog starts in April. And for us to hire somebody, even if they're certified, it's going to take several, probably 6 to 8 weeks just to do the background, get them through the process, and then get them through field training. So we'd never make the April training. If we don't sell Boris now, Boris will literally be sitting in the kennel for another 6 months. So we're talking almost a year where the dog would be sitting on basically in a kennel. He was a canine handler for many years. He could tell you it's not good for the dog. Right now, we got him over, he's being kenneled with Nick Hodges over at Hillsborough PD. And he's kind of trying to work with Boris on, at least keeping him active. So we had a couple agencies come look at him. There's one in particular that's interested in purchasing him. And we feel like the best thing for us to do at this time is to sell Boris. So he's not just wasting away in a kennel. And then seeing down the future, we'll come up with a plan to do something different with the dog, but we're asking that the money go back to the police association. And then we can make a decision on what our next move is down the road. But I mean, there's other options that we can look at too, but we're just trying to figure out right now, because it's time sensitive and because the training starts in April. This other agency wants to get Boris to start in April. If we had to wait till the end of March to make this decision, and if it didn't work out, then that agency would be SOL. And so that's why we had to pull this one in right now, so.
So Chief, I want to thank you for coming out tonight. And I'm not a big fan of last minute meetings where people don't have an opportunity to speak. Or have an opportunity to hear about it from Sean. That being said, we got it out on the internet. We got a number of people to call today. I think that there are 2 questions that need to be answered tonight. The first one's easy, and that is letting Boris go someplace where he can have a matched handler.
Yeah.
I wish the answer was that we easily could have done that internally, but we knew once we lost the handler, this was a realistic possibility. In fact, the chief was kind of proactive enough to tell us well before we lost the handler that this might be happening, and would we be flexible and allow the dog to travel with them, or we would have supported that. And so I intend to make a motion after we hear from the public to allow Boris to be sold, to have all the money transferred to the police association. And then I'm going to end my motion there. And what I'm going to ask for is a commitment from you that we have a public hearing and we let the community come in and talk about what Moxie 2.0 looks like.
Absolutely,
Yeah. I really think there are 3 answers. Is it another kind of German Shepherd type canine? Is it a kinder, gentler, lab or golden who can do search and rescue? Or is it no dog? And I think we shouldn't be making that decision on Wednesday.
No, we should not. Thursday.
Say Thursday.
Is it
It's
Thursday?
Thursday.
I don't have a prior commitment today.
I will make that motion after we make sure there's nobody from the public, but I just want you to understand where we are tonight. Obviously, I want to have all 5 selectmen.
Yep.
See when we do that.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for your commitment to the town. When I looked at, this list of people who supported the dog, it's pretty heartwarming.
Yeah,
So.
there is a lot of support, so.
Is there anybody else from the public needs to be invited before I make my motion?
Is there anybody else? Is there anybody from the public that would like to?
Well, and just to reiterate, what Chris is suggesting right now is that all we're gonna discuss tonight is the sale of the dog to
Correct.
another
Correct.
entity.
Yes.
Which sounds, for me as a dog lover, I mean, that dog's been sitting in a kennel for 3 months. Oh my
We
God.
have to do what's good for board.
Right. And that's why we're here. And, trust me, I
But we're
didn't
making
want it.
no other decision tonight other than that.
Yeah, so the
I
process.
have my commitment that we'll have public hearing.
Yeah, no,
So the process, we would excess Boris.
Surplus.
Boris.
Yeah,
Donate it to the police association.
correct. Yeah.
any public comment?
Yes,
Just tell us your address and name.
yes, please.
Jennifer Flecker, 6 Branch, Rosemary Turnpike West. I just was thinking about how you said, kinder, gentler type dog to help the community. And one of the things I was looking at was, to help in schools and whatnot, but they already have a support animal in the school system. So my concern would be, we do have a lot of the 89, 93 corridor traffic. And through that, we do get a lot of the drug type traffic stops and whatnot. So my opinion would be that maybe we don't have a handler now, but are we gonna get another one? And that maybe we should think about at least having one if we do.
Yeah, I think when
Yeah.
just to be clear, I wasn't advocating for any of those 3 positions. I was saying I understood there to be 3 options.
Right.
A shepherd, a lab, or no dog are kind of the 3 options I'd like to have considered at a public hearing.
And
So she brought up something new to me. She brought up something new to me. There is a support dog for the schools?
I know one of the support staff at the school does have a dog in the school.
Okay, I had no idea, sorry.
Mm.
Thank you for I didn't know, so that's
Yeah.
good to know.
thank you.
And a German Shepherd and a lab, depending on which direction, if we do get another dog, they can both do tracking and drug detection. So that could be an option as well.
It's just whether or not you send it to chase down a bad guy or not.
Pretty much the only factor that'd be different would be if the dog is trained to bite. And that would be to bite to apprehend, bite to protect itself, or to protect the handler.
When I rode with Matt, the dog bites.
Is there any other public comment? So I'd like to make a motion, that we authorize, Boris to be surplus.
Declared as surplus, it's
Declared as
over
surplus.
1,000, so the board has to decide the disposition.
To be declared as surplus, so it can be sold. And further to assign any funds to the Patrolmen's Association. So that if in the future we opt to purchase another dog, those funds can be allocated to that.
I'll second it, and under discussion, I'm gonna be clear and state that I completely hate last minute meetings. I am the first to publicly state that do not bring something new to the meeting that I don't know about. I literally left an event to get here tonight because I realized we didn't have quorum. So I want the public to know that this was something that was extremely time sensitive based on what you shared with us tonight. So I just, in all fairness, to you two for being here tonight. We typically don't meet on a Thursday night at 7:00.
And I wouldn't ask if it was.
No, so Ken, I'm trying to make a public comment that this is not how we typically roll, and I think based on the situation at hand, I need to make sure that, like I said, my event's still going on and I'm happily to be there. But
Second.
I did second it.
Second.
Yeah.
No further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda.
Like, we'll go on I'm sorry, consent agenda.
Vice Chairman, your motion was
Thanks, guys.
to
Thank
send
you.
the funds to
Thank you,
the
Ken.
police
Thank you,
association.
Matt.
Okay, just want to make sure I had that right.
Second, the water per billing warrant.
So we have Matt. Made the motion, Chris second.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None?
Chris, just to clarify, when we come up with the, how we're gonna do this, it's actually. You might have, it's surplus, it's over 1,000, so we're gonna donate that to the association. We can talk with
I
it.
said a sign, but.
Oh, okay, because then it's, all right.
A sign.
I just wanted to make sure, because it's, I know it sounds like semantic, but. Just need to make sure, because Eric had some concerns if we were gonna sell for $1 or, you know.
Yeah, no, I think we're
Okay,
selling
all right.
it for what we're selling.
Okay,
No town manager's report, no discussion, no reports, no bottom lines. No public,
Make a motion, what do we say?
To adjourn. Second.
all those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
I'll just find out tomorrow for everybody.